Welcome back to the next episode of my podcast. Thanks for coming back to listen to the next episode. We're here in the lovely Hertfordshire countryside on a much sunnier day. It's 27 degrees, absolutely glorious, and the bees are flying nicely today. Quick run around of what we've done today. Hive 1, or as my friend from work wants me to name it after her, but I think we need to discuss sponsorship for that to happen. So if you're listening, what's your best offer? Let's hear it. Until then, it stays at Hive 1. It's hefting quite light, but they've got enough stores for the next few weeks. While I finish off the Varroa treatment, which is an annual treatment to try and knock down these parasitic mites that can cause us problems over the winter. So I'm just added another Apiary tray to go into week 3. Got quite a nice mite drop, and 2 more weeks of that, then I can start thinking about feeding, see where we're at. Hive 2 is hefting much heavier. When I say hefting, it's when you pick up the hive from underneath with a few fingers and you can get a feel of how many stores the hive has. So yeah, they're hefting a bit heavier, and that feels quite good. Getting into some more Varroa treatment. They've got another week, and then I'll change the tray on their one. But they're doing quite nicely, they're flying well. So they're looking in good shape, that hive. Then generally, I thought I'd talk about what type of equipment I use. I use polyhives. I prefer them for the lightness, the insulation. During the winter, I think they do far better. They use fewer stores and generally aren't as traumatised by the cold weather. I don't think they just chill out and potter about all winter, and I generally have too many stores at the other end of winter, so I have to take them out to give them space to lay rather than running out of stores. And I use Maysmore commercial size brood, which is a little bit bigger than the national, and then which is the sort of British standard. And then I use national size poly supers on top. We generally use smaller boxes on top just because of the weight, because they weigh 15-20 kilos when they're full, and if you're stacking them above your head it gets quite laborious. And so that's generally what people use, and those two different sizes are compatible with each other. And I use open mesh floors, which I keep open all year round. I only put a tray in at this time of year when I'm monitoring the mite drop. I've also monitored my Asian hornet traps again. I do that every week. I do the type of pot where if you catch anything you want to release, they're not killed they don't drown in the liquid. You can just attract them with the bait and then release them as fit. I've only caught European hornets this year, which I've been releasing when I found them in time. Not much out there in the fields. All I can see around me is ragwort, which is doesn't seem to produce much nectar, probably pollen, I'm thinking. But yeah, there's not much out there at the moment. Swallows are still out, quite nice, starting to congregate before they make the trip back to Africa, so that's quite nice to see and hear. Other than that, that's it for this week, and we'll be back for the next episode next weekend. Catch you later.